Why do you think fitness trainers should be in shape, Tune?
Because at the end of the day, you're a representation of not only what you want your clients to look like, but you would want to think that they would look like something that you've already established for yourself, right? And not only that, but you set the example, right? You're the leader,
Yep.
and as the leader, you have to set the example. So
Yep.
obviously, by being in shape, that's the best example to set, because not only do you don't really have to speak, the appearance, your presentation does it for itself. So I feel like you got to keep your body up to par, and it's part of the gig.
Part of the game,
It's
bro.
part of the game, man.
Listen, bro. So first thing, man.
It's bare minimum.
First thing, trainers got to be in shape. First of all, we got to provide some credibility and trust to our clients. At the end of the day, we are professionals. I view myself as a professional too. You view yourself as a professional?
Correct.
I'm sure every trainer watching this podcast views themselves as a professional. And I'm sure if anyone on this podcast wanted to hire a trainer, they would want to hire a professional. So you want the trainer with an enhanced image, first of all, right?
Bars.
Definitely
Fuck.
bars. Let's think about let's really think about it, bro. The best trainers have lived a lifestyle. The best trainers have gotten a transformation. The best trainers have been through what they're trying to teach you, so they can put you through it, right? I understand there are some plus size trainers, big body trainers. I lost 100 pounds, but I'm still 300 pounds trainers. Yeah. I understand that, bro. And maybe you can coach someone to get to that next level from 400 to 300 pounds, but you're not on our level, bro. Respectfully, there's absolutely no way. There's no way you offering the same value in the same game. A D1 athlete who's been doing this for over
10 plus years.
Almost, yeah. Well, not training necessarily, but I was gonna say over half a decade I've been doing it. But I've been active my whole life. Somebody like Tune, same thing. It's no way you could provide more value than us, bro. And as we get into the episode, I'm gonna talk more of my shit. But Tune, anything else you want to add before we get to the next reason why fitness trainers need to be in shape?
I feel like you hit the nail on the head, brother. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I
feel like it's just a given, man.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, you see yourself as a professional. I consider myself a professional.
Yeah.
And as a professional, you have to look like a pro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You cannot truly consider yourself a professional if you don't look the part.
Yeah.
Despite the credential, despite your background, despite what you've done 20 years ago, in your glory days, if you call yourself professional, you gotta embody what a professional looks like. And as fitness trainers, that's being in shape.
Yeah, it's like, would you want your kid to go to a teacher who can't read? It wouldn't even make sense. It's not about that. They care about the kids, though. Sound dumb as hell.
But they're friendly.
But they're friendly. The kids like them. Like, nah, I need a teacher that can teach my kid who knows how to read. Sorry.
Who has competence.
Right, exactly. Like, it's not even a debate.
It's not a debate. It's
it's crazy.
It's a non-negotiable.
Bro, some of the stuff out here that people are making acceptable is getting out of hand. It's really getting ridiculous, man. And I look at like my clients that have been successful, if you think about it. They always said they need a fit trainer. They want a fit trainer. Like they want a trainer to be fit. The majority of clients who get results, who are serious, do not want to train with somebody who's not in shape. And I've gotten clients, I've gotten easy money in my pocket off of the, hey, I want to look like you. I'm sure you've gotten that too, Tune. Even girls is like, of course I don't want to look like a man, but you're strong and lean. I want the lady version of that. You feel me?
And you look the part, and you look like you can teach me how to get there.
Exactly.
That's half the battle too.
Exactly. So another thing too, man, we got to lead by example, right? We gotta be the role models for our clients. You can't be a leader if you're not living a lifestyle. And as a professional, whether it's a trainer, whether it's in finance, whether it's a coach, whether it's a parent, you have to lead by example. You can't get a trainer who's not leading by example. It's not going to work, because when it gets tough, who broke through that barrier? Who broke through that obstacle? Not the big back trainer. They go right back to Pizza Hut when shit gets tough. They go right back to the excuses. You're trying to get rid of the big back excuses. So why would you hire a trainer who's making big back excuses every time something gets tough?
Bars.
Bars. That's bars on the internet. Anything you want to add to that, Tune?
Now, just piggybacking off by leading by example, right? At the end of the day, you got to practice what you preach, right?
Yep.
You got to practice what you preach. You got to breathe the image. You got to be the image, and you got to be perceived in that image, right? And if you're not, when things get hard for your client, they're gonna look at you like, well, he doesn't look like how I want to look like, or she doesn't embody what I'm trying to get to. Why would I listen to you? What reason do I have to take instruction from you?
Yep.
And at the end of the day, you're losing money at that point just because you don't fit the image of what you're trying to coach.
Exactly. And then another thing that helps with leading by example, with my clients, like say I'll be like, all right, you got to run a mile in this time, or we trying to burn this many calories on the Versa Climber, you know what I'm saying, this amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, well, what do you do? I could tell them what I do, and I could show them. I could show you. You know what I'm saying?
But better than I can.
Exactly, bro. Or even just form, like correcting form. I got to be able to. If I don't do back squats, if I don't do chest press, I can't even coach them. Like one thing about training, you got to cue people through stuff. So I can't even cue them through correcting their form if I don't live that.
Man.
You feel me? So if you don't do that on the regular, if you don't know the language, if you don't know the shortcuts, there's no way you could be an effective trainer. I know what people think is just come in and be fit and show off muscles and show off your six-pack. That ain't what it is, bro.
That's not it.
It's a whole science to it, dog. And like that's why I do this podcast, because they see two ninjas with hair, with tattoos, and we sound like we from around the way, so they don't respect it. They don't think that we educated. They don't think we know what we doing. But you got to get a trainer that's in shape, bro. And there's too many people scamming that can't walk in me in Tune shoes, and other great trainers in the area. And it's just no way.
Or not even that, but more importantly, you got to be able to talk the talk.
Exactly.
90% of personal training is communication.
Facts.
10, it's like
my bad.
It's like 10. It's almost like 10% of the body, right? You know what I'm saying? But when it all boils down, 90% is effective communication. How can you illustrate certain things? How can you coach this person through something they've never done before, given the fact that you probably never done it yourself, right? You got to be able to demonstrate and spoon feed people.
Yep.
Because a lot of people never worked out goddamn near ever in their life. So not only do you have to be able to communicate effectively, but you often have to be able to lead people in a way whereas though they can follow instruction and they can, buy into what you're selling at the end of the day.
And guess what else is communication? These bars. You know how I got these bars? Because I've been training for a long time.
You've been putting in the reps.
If you wing it, you're going to eat chicken wings. You know how I came up with that? I lived a life and I got experience. If you ain't living a life and you ain't in the experience, you can't communicate with your clients like that. Now, obviously, I don't talk to all of my clients like that, but most of my clients I can talk to like that and they get it. You know what I'm saying? So communication is big, learning how to communicate to different clients. So that was good too.
Now that's the biggest thing, bro. And at the end of the day, you realize that to actually be a great trainer, you have to be able to build rapport with your clients. So if you don't know how to communicate with certain people, if you don't know how to interact with different personalities, then you've already lost more than half the battle right there. Having the body that's the bare minimum.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's your entry point.
Yep.
Then be able to communicate and being able to just paint a picture for your client.
Yep.
That's a whole nother ball game. It's personal training for a reason. It's called personal training. You have to be relatable.
Man, bars, man. But we've never been overweight, so we can't relate to the bigger person.
You're right. I've never been overweight.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, you're right.
But I've been this size, motherfucker. I gotta tell you how to get to this size.
I can tell you how to get here.
I can tell you how not to be that.
And to be this.
And to be this. And that other big back trainer has never been this. So how they gonna get you to this when they only been that? And that is big back and that is fat. Bars. They're going to cancel us. So we're going to keep this conversation going. We're going to talk about the mental aspect of it, right?
Okay.
So let's say we got a client in there struggling, right? I got to coach you through the struggle, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think a client is going to accept the criticism from some fat body coming up to him, trying to correct them and motivate them. I'm pretty sure they won't. But if you got somebody fit, right, who's speaking to you in a way that you can understand, motivating you, encouraging you, being positive with you, I'm sure that's going to push you a little bit more than someone overweight. Well, they can relate to me. Listen, no, that's not that's just not going to work. I'm sure with your clients, you have an edge on other trainers because of the way you look. You can communicate with them, and it's going to be receptive.
And it's a major part. Looking the part is a major part of the whole ordeal, right? Yep. But it creates that believability, right? That credibility that you mentioned at the beginning. Because at the end of the day, no matter how they're feeling, they can always look at you and be like, well, this is my example.
Exactly.
So whatever they're telling me, they've probably already been through the situation, and they can help you over that hurdle as well too while you're going through certain things.
Exactly, bro. And like I kind of mentioned it earlier, but the if I'm maintaining my physicality, right, I'm maintaining my shape, I'm keeping myself in good health, I'm just only going to coach you better, right? Mm-hmm. I'm only going to help you get through them challenging times. Like, if I don't understand that, hey, I don't feel like eating this meal prep today, right? Mm-hmm. How am I going to tell you to lock in at meal prep? How am I going to coach you through, changing your relationship with food? How am I going to coach you through going to the gym when you don't feel like it, if I don't go to the gym when I don't feel like it? You know what I'm saying? Like, there are certain challenges, and when you get in your fitness journey, when you get farther in your fitness journey, you're going to realize this is a mental battle more than a physical battle. The physical is a byproduct of my mentality getting stronger.
Bars.
That's
man.
Come on, man. Listen,
you got a bar button.
Yeah. Well, it's the best we could do right now. But and that's all it is. And my clients that can get through that mental barrier, those are the successful ones. You feel me? And this ain't no shade at nobody if you're watching, because y'all like to clip my shit and send it to people apparently. But anyway, my clients who have gotten through the mental shift, successful. The ones who didn't get through the mental shift, went to another trainer, went to this gym, went to that class. Guess what? They back still big.
Big back activity.
I'm just saying, bro. So if I don't go, like I said before, if I don't go through that mental shift, I can't coach you through the mental shift. And a big back trainer ain't going through the mental shift. So they mental is some shit. Fuck is y'all talking about? If you gotta add anything to that.
Oh man.
They got me in my bag today, boy.
And then we also have to take into account that, right? You can talk the talk and you can have the body, but also people, the smart ones, right? They gonna watch how you move, right? So it's not all about the personal part. It's not all about having the body for real, but are you really setting an example by living what you practicing what you preach? You know what I'm saying? So what does that look like? That means your clients seeing you work out every day. They seeing you bust your ass. They seeing you perform the same exercises that you're giving to them. You're establishing credibility along the way. You're reassuring them in their minds that this is the person that I hired, the professional I hired to coach me and lead me to where I say I want to be.
Yeah.
So they're watching you. We can talk the talk, but at the end of the day, you got to put them reps in, and you got to show them that I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm talking about.
All facts, man. And like there needs to be a professional standard, but like there needs to be some. This needs to
criteria.
This needs to go nationwide to all trainer certifications, because I have multiple, and there are certifications that say like being fit is part of the job. Like it's literally on certifications. Like that's not even can't even deny that.
That's a no cap.
That I'm just being honest.
Stop the cap.
I'm not capping. And so for you to sit here and say that a trainer doesn't have to be fit doesn't mean like you can't just erase the certification. You can't apply things that you learned in the certification process, but you don't want to apply that, because that's probably the most. Let me take that back. It's not the most difficult. It's probably the hardest to maintain over a period of time, right?
Correct.
And so we're going to talk about what this fit mean later in the podcast, but like it is in certifications. I don't know. I don't know what certifications you got, Tune, but I'm sure you've seen it before, because I definitely have it in my certifications.
I've definitely seen it before too. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because being fit is part of the job. It's just, and you can't discredit that, and you can't neglect that fact. That's just what it is.
It is what it is.
You gotta be fit, bro.
You gotta be fit,
ma'am, sis. You gotta look the part,
man. Listen,
brother. Fam, you.
Ninja. And then like, we're also trying to, as a professional, we are protecting people from injuries. How can I protect someone from an injury if I don't live the lifestyle?
Mm.
You know how many people give up on their fitness journey because they get hurt? Right? If I'm not correcting form, if I'm not teaching them how to stretch, if I'm not teaching them about dynamic warm-ups, dynamic stretch, if I can't identify, oh, you got tight hips, you got tight hamstrings, I can't do that. I mean, I could learn it, but if I don't physically practice that, I'm not going to be as effective at it. So we do have to protect people from injuries. Like just living this, telling people that they don't have to live this lifestyle is dangerous.
It's diabolical.
Like it is insane, bro. You are putting people in harm's way.
At risk.
Like fitness is already not common knowledge. People don't understand. They don't understand that building muscle doesn't mean bodybuilder. They don't understand like you can build lean muscle and get leaner by having more muscle on your body. It's not common knowledge. So for you to sit there and say that someone who don't practice that it can be effective and ask for their worth and ask for a top price, that is insane, bro.
Man,
We got to stop this shit, dog. We got to put an end to it. That's a BS narrative. And y'all could call me all the names you want, which we will get to a little later in the podcast. But I'm not rocking with that shit. Tune, anything you want to add?
I love how you diving into the intricacies of it, right? Because as you know, and I'm a stickler on form, right? And form is imperative, right? It's pivotal as far as reducing the risk of potential injury, right?
Yep.
And not having your client leave you and go to somebody else just because you didn't know what you were talking about, right?
Yep.
If I can really put this into sense, right? I feel like form is more important than the actual exercise itself. A lot of people go into the gym, they don't do it, they don't stretch,
Yep.
they don't foam roll, which is a part of active recovery, which a lot of people don't even know what that is.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If I were to say, I think the actual body mechanics and having proper form is more important than the exercise. Because once you do that, then you can perform any exercise, pretty much efficiently and with weight.
Absolutely. And like I did a post where a while ago, pause, where we was talking about squatting ass to grass on squats, pause.
I remember.
And you know who I'm talking about. I ain't gonna say the name, obviously, but like a couple of days later, somebody was like, I squat all the way ass to grass on the dirt. And it's just like, bro, I gave a whole scientific breakdown of why you don't have to do it and what you should be targeting when you squat. And you just gonna put that BS info out there, bro. And it's gonna be somebody who sees it like, fuck what C Marty talking about. I'm gonna listen to this guy. Yeah. And then when you got spinal problems later in life, because you've been putting all that weight on spinal flexion, now you're gonna be feeling stupid. I'm just saying, bro.
And not only that, but some people don't have the hip mobility to even get that low.
Exactly.
But they can get low enough where though they're still targeting the muscle intended for the exercise.
Dog, we sitting in a chair right now, bro. I'm not squatting ass to grass to sit in this chair. Like there's no movement in your life where you're squatting ass to grass, bro. None.
At all.
None. Not when you picking a kid up. Not when you not even maybe when you're lifting a box or something. But like you can do like a RDL type of thing if you want to lift a box correctly. You know what I'm saying?
And truth be told, I don't even think that's really beneficial or even
healthy,
so especially with how people be trying to load up the bar, and squat the whole gym.
Man, listen,
it's really not necessary.
Whole nother topic for another day, but you got to get a trainer who's experienced, who know what they doing, man. It's not a debate. Y'all are tripping. You got to be careful with that spine, man. Like you could get hurt. You could really mess yourself up. So be mindful on that form, and remember, you're going to get stronger over time. You ain't got to try to impress nobody in the gym trying to lift heavy weight.
Yeah,
you seen your favorite Instagram influencer doing 300 pounds fake weights. You didn't know it was a fake weight, so you go in the gym and try that shit. Y'all got to be careful, man. I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all, Anything else to him before we move on?
Let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling, man. And then we just before we wrap this up, we're gonna talk about you gotta really trainers that stay in shape. Yep, we do need a little bit of credit because we deal with the same real life shit y'all deal with,
if not worse.
And a lot of the shit that y'all deal with, where y'all falling off, and it not just trainers, but fit people in general. A lot of the excuses that people use to fall off and gain the weight back, trainers go through the same shit. Like, I think it's so crazy, almost disrespectful for people to think that we don't have family issues, we don't have deaths in the family, we don't have financial stuff going on, we don't got relationship shit going on, we don't have car breakdown, like we don't have real life shit going on as well, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's not an excuse. And I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. I was like, shit, if they say you don't know what someone's going through, you don't know what they're going through. Where's my whining button at? Where this joint at? Here you go. If that was the case and that was a reason for getting out of shape, everybody in the world would be out of shape.
100%.
Everybody in the world, there would be no fit people.
People just use that excuse to be out of shape
You know what I'm
as
saying?
a scapegoat.
Yeah, and like, of course, get your rest, but like, I'm tired, so I'm not gonna work. I'm tired for the whole week, so I'm not gonna work out the whole week. That's bullshit,
That's
bro.
BS.
That's BS, bro. That's BS. And so a lot of times with training, especially, it's been times in my career where I was, training 8, 9, 10 hours a day. Like, not even that long ago, I had to cut that shit out.
I'm doing that now, so I know
Tune doing it now. I have to try to get Tune to stop doing it. But there's no way where I'm gonna be doing that and still not take care of myself. And them days when I'm exhausted, Tune see me on certain days, I might just be like, yo, I got a good 30, 40, I'm done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm still gonna put some type of work in.
You still show up.
Exactly, bro. So anything you want to add to that, Tune, before we keep this thing moving?
I think as trainers, we deserve more praise and more flowers. Because like you mentioned, a lot of people don't think we got real life situations too. Like we don't be going through it mentally, or we don't be having, spiritual issues, XYZ, or we don't be feeling lonely sometimes. Like,
yep.
We bleed just like y'all. You know what I'm saying? We wake up in the morning, go use the restroom just like y'all.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we've developed a certain mindset that allows us to push through, despite life happens, because life gonna happen regardless.
I'm telling you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't use that as a scapegoat, or you can't use the excuses your mind makes up to dodge the work. If you want look to be the man, you got to put in that work, got to put the reps in.
No, that's absolutely right, bro. So any trainers watching who think that it's okay to not be fit, you gotta set personal fitness goals for yourself. So you gotta have your clients got goals. You make goals for your clients. Set some goals for yourself. You should be on a journey too. You should be getting better. You should be trying to increase your deadlift, increase your cardio, right? And so, fuck it, we'll just get to the conversation. What does fit mean, right? And just because you can still increase your fitness goals without necessarily having your peak body composition. Does that make sense, Tune?
Makes perfect sense.
Like, when I say fit, I'm not saying you got to walk around with a 6-pack for 12 months out the year, or you got to
be a bodybuilder.
You got to be a bodybuilder. You got to be stage ready if you're a bodybuilding competitor. You got to be under 10% body fat. That's not what I'm saying, bro. You should be capable of certain movements, capable of, you should be able to do a certain cardio milestone. You should be able to lift a certain amount. Like, you should still be capable of doing certain things. That's what I mean when I say fit. Like, if you're a mom and you don't look like how you look before 2 babies, that's fine. You could still be a fit mom. So a lot of people misinterpret what I mean when I say fit, because I never once said on my post, like, yeah, you gotta be
XYZ.
Yeah, I never even said that. I just said be fit.
But people are always gonna take some words and run with it and twist it into what they want it to mean to them, right? And then they throw stones at you, or they, what I'm saying, they try to downgrade what you're saying, but miss the whole point, right?
I'm telling you.
So that's absolutely right. And being fit, not only does it encompass, the physical aspect about it, but fit is also having a mentality,
Yeah.
It's a mental battle as well, like you mentioned before, right? Being strong-minded, right? Not being feeble-minded, not being weak-minded, right?
Yep.
Building a solid foundation, building a solid mental fortitude that allows you to just push through every day, because things get tough. Obstacles are going to happen, roadblocks are going to happen, impediments are going to happen.
Yep.
But you got to be able to push through that despite what life has to throw at you. You got to keep rolling with the punches.
Oh, bars, man. Hey, look, man, it's the best fitness podcast. You're not getting this value from anywhere else, bro. They call us corny, Breakfast Club, whatever else they say. This is great content, and these are conversations that need to be had in the fitness space because the direction the fitness space is going in is listen, bro. It's we're gonna be an extinct industry at some point. The way it's going right now, bro.
It's getting crazy.
It's getting crazy, man. So you don't want to unbig your back, don't watch the podcast. If you don't want to get rid of that belly, don't watch the podcast. If you ain't trying to get better, self-improve, don't watch the podcast. Best fitness podcast out. We out of here.